This will just be a really simple and hopefully easy to follow explanation of what guided self-inquiry is, and I'm going to first serve as the guide for myself.
Awesome.
And so this can be done with eyes open, eyes closed. Some people find it's helpful, to turn the eyes closed, but I'm going to keep my eyes open. And so what I'm doing now, even while I'm speaking, is I'm starting to turn my attention inside, and I'm just paying attention to what's happening in my physical body. And in doing that, I'm starting to notice some sensations that I wasn't aware of just a minute ago when I was speaking. So some of the sensations I'm feeling is a little bit almost like a tingling down in my belly, feeling a little bit of energy up into my chest, a little bit of almost kind of tingling energy. Immediately there is a tendency for a thought to arise. So I feel something, I feel this vibration in my chest, and then the thought arises to interpret that feeling. What does that mean? What does this feeling in my body mean? So the thought came up, this means this is nervous. This means I'm nervousness. This is probably from my past conditioning, I felt this before in different situations. I thought, okay, this is nervousness. Well, here's an opportunity. What if I just let that thought go and I come right back to the feeling? What if I use the fact that there is a thought to let me know that actually there is a feeling there to meet? And that there's a thought is almost like a road, again, pointing away from that feeling. Well, I'm going to let that thought go. And I'm going to turn and bring my attention right back to the feeling. So in dropping into this feeling, okay, so there's a feeling in the physical body. I'm going to close my eyes for a moment. Okay, and now I'm going to drop into what I would say the emotional body. To define where the emotional body is in space, it's fluid. It's not really something that it exists in space. It can be felt. Emotions can be felt within the boundaries of the physical body. Sometimes they can be found outside of it. But in dropping into that below that physical sensation, I find that, okay, there's an emotion present here. And the emotion is fear. So there's a little bit of fear. And that's actually what was simmering and generating that story of nervousness and anything else that came with that.
Right.
And so the opportunity now is an emotion has just arisen. Now emotions are very, in this process, in inquiring inside and self-inquiry and really looking to understand ourselves and explore the internal environment more, emotions are very valuable. It's like pay dirt, you just hit a vein of gold here. There is an emotion that's present. Because most of the time we go through our days and we really avoid emotion. We
power
through it. We try to maybe stuff it to the side or push it down. Emotions can be really uncomfortable. And so we come up with survival strategies, ways of dealing with those emotions, which is oftentimes avoiding them. Sometimes we act out on them. There's different things that we can do, but rarely do we actually meet the emotion directly without a story.
Yeah, there's usually always some sort of thought, judgment, story, and then you've got this whole feeling life that comes up around all those thoughts and feelings, or thoughts and stories and judgments.
That's right.
In my experience, I've always found that feelings can be either a symptom of a met or an unmet need. Right, so from having fear or anxiety, maybe the need is that the story is I'm not safe. But if you look around, maybe you are, and you just have to reevaluate the story.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this brings up a really important point, that so much of our stories are based upon past conditioning.
Right.
And they come from, if we look into the past when those stories first arose, in the feelings we experienced, the way we reacted might have been perfectly appropriate for that time and place. But now, fast forward, we'll say years into the future, maybe you experienced something as a child, and now as an adult, you're in a different place, you have different resources to deal with. And so feeling that same feeling can arise, but reacting in the same way as a child is no longer appropriate. And when we are triggered to react in the same way of a child, it often doesn't serve us. It often creates suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so even, you mentioned a feeling arising could be a signal of an unmet need. And that's possible, but I would say even if we can go one step beyond that, a feeling arising could simply, again, be a feeling arising.
Yes.
It can simply, maybe it doesn't mean anything. There's nothing that, that says that emotions have any intrinsic meaning. Our minds are always searching for meaning again. This is how we navigate, this is how we survive in the world, but sometimes something arises and there is no known meaning. And so that's when the opportunity, the opportunity there is to meet it directly.
Yes.
So to finish my little experience, okay, so I'm going to meet this fear directly that I'm experiencing. And meeting it directly, I'm just allowing my consciousness to just drop within it. I know that I'm in a safe space here. I know that there's nothing to fear. We're doing this live event. I mean, there's at least one person watching. Maybe there's no more,
Yes.
And so it's just like, what is there to fear in this situation?
Right.
There's nothing to fear in this situation. And in that, boom, my experience is like something just shifted. It's like I dropped out the bottom of that emotion. And now what I'm feeling, is different. I'm feeling a different flavor, energy. I would describe as just an excitement, kind of a joy. That's what it's arising out. It has a little different flavor. The fear was a little contractive. I felt in this space, and now what I'm aware of is the energy has just expanded. And so this is really brings up just an essential aspect of the emotional body and emotions that we experience. Emotions are like Russian dolls. They're layered one within the other. And so what's on the top is whenever there's emotion simmering on top, or whatever the emotion is that first catches our attention, chances are if we have the willingness to drop into that and go deeper, we're going to find something else buried beneath that.